And this is still the north end. This is more of where I grew up. So I grew up going to this corner store, bodega, corner store right here. This is still very Puerto Rican here. In front of us is downtown Hartford, and right behind us is the opening of what was the first Puerto Rican enclave in Hartford, which is known as the Tunnel. And so if you go just about a block up the street, you'll see where Main Street and Albany Street split. Right before that street split, there's a very small street called Eli Street. On that street is Sacred Heart Catholic Church, which was originally a German church, but in the 50s really catered to the new Puerto Rican population, and started offering church services in Spanish in their basement. And so in that basement actually is where a lot of Puerto Rican political and cultural involvement occurred. And so the first Puerto Rican Day Parade was started in that basement. The San Juan Catholic Center, which became the San Juan Center, which we're standing in front of right now, was started in that basement, also in the 60s. And so many organizations came out of that church. So I was interested in studying the history of Puerto Ricans in Connecticut because I grew up here where, I saw Puerto Rican flags in stores, in grocery stores, and I saw that we had such a rich culture that was celebrated, but it was like during that 1 month or during the couple events a year. And then I didn't see that reflection happen in the classroom or in other, professional spaces. And so I wanted to learn more about this community, how we got here, why we got here, and hopefully be able to teach other people about it so that they're aware and they can understand that, Connecticut is also a Puerto Rican space. The first Puerto Rican population that you really get in the city is very working class, here to work, primarily working in the tobacco industry, as well as you had a few people working in places like Hartford Poultry or at the Colt factory. But you really get working class Puerto Ricans in the first kind of 10, 15 years. After that, you start getting families, and that definitely shifts the dynamic. So within, 10 years into the Hartford Puerto Rican settlement, you have more than half of the elementary schools being Puerto Rican. And so that totally shifts a lot of stuff. And so Hartford is a city where you get the first bilingual school in the state. You get Puerto Ricans not only being politically active in terms of voter registration, but they're also trying to change what the school system looks like. So you get the Teacher Corps program, which brings Puerto Rican teachers directly from the island here to engage with those students. I definitely think that Puerto Ricans navigating the city, figuring out things like ESL classes, bilingual classes, understanding that has definitely made it easier for other groups. One thing that we see a lot, that I see a lot in my research is like one of the issues that they had was with translators. And so when Puerto Ricans first started coming, the court would get translators from academic universities that spoke more Latin American, more academic Spanish, and those would be the people in the courts. It was Puerto Ricans that said, hey, we're not just all Spanish speakers, we actually need Puerto Rican court translators to fully understand what's happening. And so now, because Puerto Ricans really took that extra care to really get that catered attention, now you have other groups that are able to have that understanding, and it's not so crazy to think, oh, Mexicans might speak Spanish a little differently than Puerto Ricans. Maybe we need someone that speaks both of those dialects, not just one person to cover because they're all the same. And that one, the picture I showed you guys from 81, that market is still there. Ernie's Market is still there. And my stepdad used to deliver groceries from Ernie's Market to Puerto Ricans in the neighborhood here, like Maria Sanchez right there. And so the changes, you really see them. But I think really it's the subtle things, right? It's Maria Sanchez School. It's the Hispanic Health Council, which has been probably I think almost 50 years. And now they're expanded across the state. The Community Renewal Team, which was started as an anti-poverty agency to help Blacks and Puerto Ricans in the North End, is now one of the biggest anti-poverty agencies in the state. And so that's really the legacy that you see.